Late 1990. The music industry was a bloated multi-million-dollar party, and the dress code was spandex. The charts were dominated by hair metal giants like Poison, Mötley Crüe, and Warrant. It was the era of the power ballad. Record labels had turned rock and roll into a factory assembly line. Find 5 guys with big hair, put them in makeup, write a song about a girl, and shoot a video on a car hood. It was shallow, it was corporate, and it was making billions. The peak of this excess was Warrant's Cherry Pie video, a sensory overload of red leather and sexual innuendo. The industry executives in Los Angeles thought this party would last forever. They were signing bands that looked like cartoons. But 1,000 miles north, in a rainy, depressing logging town called Aberdeen, Washington, a fuse had already been lit. The 80s were about to die, and they wouldn't even see it coming. September 10, 1991. Geffen Records quietly releases a single called Smells Like Teen Spirit by an unknown punk trio called Nirvana. They expected it to sell 50,000 copies, maybe to some college kids. They were wrong. The song hit the radio like a bomb. It started with a scratched, ugly 4-chord riff that sounded like it was being played in a garage. Then the drums kicked in, Dave Grohl hitting the skins like he was trying to break them. And then Kurt Cobain's voice. He wasn't singing about partying. He was screaming about boredom. He was mumbling. You couldn't even understand the lyrics. When the video hit MTV, it was a visual shock. No models, no pyrotechnics, just a dirty high school gym, cheerleaders with anarchy symbols tattooed on their chests, and a janitor dancing with a mop. It was dark, it was cynical, and it was real. The youth of America looked at Poison, then looked at Nirvana and made a choice. The request lines at radio stations jammed. The impact on the hair metal bands wasn't a slow decline, it was an execution. Janny Lane, the lead singer of Warrant, tells the most heartbreaking story of this era. He walked into the offices of Columbia Records in late 1991. On the wall was a massive framed poster of Warrant, the kings of the label. Janny went into a meeting, and when he walked out an hour later, the poster was gone. In its place was a poster of Alice in Chains. Janny Lane famously said, "I saw the video for Teen Spirit, and a chill went down my spine. I knew my career was over. I knew the 80s were dead." He was right. Overnight, ticket sales for glam bands went to zero. They were laughed off the stage. The spandex that looked cool on Friday looked like a Halloween costume on Monday. The panic inside the record labels was legendary. Executives who had spent the last decade hunting for the next Bon Jovi were suddenly firing their entire rosters. They scrambled to book flights to Seattle, desperate to sign anyone wearing a flannel shirt. They signed Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, and Stone Temple Pilots. The aesthetic of the entire world shifted. Kids threw away their Aquanet hairspray and leather jackets. They started wearing ripped jeans, Doc Martens, and oversized cardigans from Goodwill. It was the grunge look. It wasn't a fashion statement. It was an anti-fashion statement. If you looked like you tried too hard, you were uncool. Nirvana made it cool to be depressed, angry, and introverted. The rock star archetype was dead. The anti-hero was born. The climax of the revolution happened on January 11, 1992. For weeks, Michael Jackson's album Dangerous, a polished, expensive, perfect pop record, had been sitting at number 1 on the Billboard 200. He was the king of pop. He was untouchable. Then, the impossible happened. Nirvana's Nevermind knocked Michael Jackson off the top spot. A scruffy punk band who recorded their album for pennies had defeated the biggest star in the universe. It was the symbolic end of the 80s. The torch hadn't been passed. It had been stolen. Kurt Cobain was terrified. He didn't want to be the voice of a generation. He just wanted to play music. But by destroying the old guard, he became the biggest star on earth against his will. The grunge era didn't last long. It burned out tragically with Kurt Cobain's death in 1994. But the damage it did to the rock star myth was permanent. Nirvana proved that you didn't need millions of dollars, synthesizers, or a team of songwriters to change the world. You just needed 3 chords and the truth. Smells Like Teen Spirit remains the most important song of the last 40 years, not because it was the best written, but because it was the bullet that killed the artificial 80s. It forced the world to get real. It wasn't just a song, it was a revolution that wiped the slate clean. If you want to witness more of rock's most pivotal shifts, subscribe and join us as we continue to uncover the truth behind the music. This was the end of an era and the beginning of everything else.